Hello, and thank you for checking out my video. My name is Farmer Ken, and for this game, I want to create a gigantic industrial-sized American farm. I'm going to use the Courtright Line map. It's a large 4x map with 80 fields that I'm going to consolidate down into 24 huge fields. And since this is Farming Simulator, I plan on using some of the largest tractors and implements I can buy. Starting with the Fendt 1100, 673 horsepower tractor with excellent maneuverability. I'm also going with the Lizard SM82 plow. I'm going to start off in the southeast corner of the map by outlining the field I wish to create with a dirt border. It's purely aesthetic, but I like the clean separation it gives me between the crop and the weeds. Plus, by squaring off the fields, it makes it easier for hired hands. Then I'm going to buy the John Deere 8R series tractor with twin wheels. And I'm going to buy a Tree Be Gone mulcher in order to cut down some trees that are both inside the field and around the outskirts. Now, I could cut these trees down by hand and sell the wood, but that would take way too long. As it is, creating these fields took me more than 4 days to complete. When using the Tree Be Gone, sometimes the tree will just flat disappear, and then sometimes you have to actually mulch the tree up. And I kind of wish that every tree would just disappear, because I've got so many trees that I've got to cut down. It would make it so much easier and quicker if they would just disappear for me. Like this one here. Here's an example of one that I have to actually mulch up. Once all the trees are cut down, I then move on to plowing the field. And I start off with plowing under any strips of land, any borders, anything like that in order to be able to combine the fields into one large, gigantic field. With the field combined, I then go back and I plow the field for uniformity and to make it into one big field. Now that I'm finishing up my first field here, and with that, I've created my new grass field, which is 54¼ acres. Now I'm going to move on to the other side of what will eventually be my homestead, and I'm going to start off by making this ditch stretch across the land and then cover up the ditch that's between the two halves. That way I can create one large field that isn't separated. Then I'm going to move back to cutting down more trees, which there's a lot of trees that have got to come down. And after I get all these trees cut down, I'll do the same, which again, I'm going to outline the border. To be able to square off the fields. Then I'm going to plow under any land or anything like that in order to both enlarge and connect the fields. Once that's done, same as before, I then plow the entire field for both uniformity and for aesthetics as well. I'm kind of OCD about that. I like everything running in one direction. So I like it when my fields are all plowed in one single line. But anyway, moving on. Now that I am finished with this one I'm going to use for poplar. That will create my new poplar field, which is 12 acres, which is actually the smallest field I'm going to have. The 12 acres is by far the smallest. Everything else is going to be much larger than that. And so now I'm just continuing repeating the steps where first I outline the borders, and then I plow any track of field that needs to be so I can combine fields into the larger uniform fields. And after I combine the fields, then I come back and I plow the fields interior. Now, for these, I have to do them all myself because AI won't recognize the field as one big field and then just plow it all. You have to get all the borders and everything plowed under yourself. And so it's been taking me a while. This is my new pine tree field for 27.5 acres. Now I am going to move on to my rice field. And again, I got some trees that I have to cut down, which takes me quite a while. As I said, this process took me 4 days to be able to complete because of needing to be able to do it all myself and not being able to hire a helping hand to be able to do it. Although later on, as I get into some of the larger fields, I will be able to actually hire a helping hand and help speed things along. So that's my new rice field, which is 56.5 acres there along the south again. And this is one of the last fields that I'm going to create. I think this is one of the last fields. And I'm going to start off by filling in this ditch here. And so I can take out this strip of land and combine these fields together. And so I just finish up this ditch here. Make sure it's all nice and even and flat. Like so. Just go back over it just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then more of the same. So plow out this center. So this is where that ditch was, and this is me plowing out the center so that I can then, once have all of this combined, I can then go back and plow the field to make it again uniform and look good. Because the uniformity, the more a field is uniform, the easier your helping hands that you hire are able to work the fields. Because I plan on hiring hands a lot in order to move it along. Because these fields are so big that I have to be able to multitask in order to move the game forward. Because I don't want to have to take 5-6 days just to do one thing in this game, you know? So the more I can make things uniform, the more I can make them square, the more that the hired help is going to be able to help me out. And then I go back and clean up the edges. And that will be my new spinach field, which is there in the corner. Now I move on. The next one I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start off with, but anyways, I'm going to start off with cutting down the trees in this section here to be able to open this field up. And then I'm going to build a road along this edge here. So I start off with the John Deere and the Tree Be Gone, and I start zapping trees. Bam! Gone. See? Now wouldn't it be nice if I could just be able to high speed just run right through these fields? Because some of these, like this patch here, this patch took me probably 2 hours, 3 hours of just sitting here grinding trees and mulching trees up to be able to get them all gone. It'd be nice if they just disappear and I can run through it at top speed, you know. So I have to build this road here where you see the arrow pointing to in order to get to those other fields that were circled, because those fields in this map is actually buried. When the person who created this map, he wasn't thinking about access very well, and he buried those fields, and you can't get to them. So with large implements like the plow, or with a harvester and a big head on the front of it, you can't actually get to those fields because there's trees and ditches and everything else in the way. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to use this road here. It's a dirt road, and I'm going to create my own access to it. Now, I love using these roads because I love the texture, I love the color, but I don't like how when you're using the road and you're driving along, there's huge spots of it missing. You know, it looks like half the game is missing on the road, you know. Everything else around it is just fine. But see it like that, you can see where there's chunks missing. I wish once you planted these roads, they just became a solid object and weren't something that constantly have to fill in and change as you're driving along in it. So anyways, I finish up this road along this edge here, and then after I finish that up, it's on to the same of plowing and cutting down any trees that might be along borders, filling it in. And so that there is going to create my new sorghum field for 368 acres, which is not my largest field. I do have one field that is even bigger than that. Now I am moving on to across the tracks. Going to start combining those two fields that I created the road in order to get to. And then that's going to create my new peas field of 143 acres. And then I'm going to go right next to that field, and I'm going to start plowing. And the same as before. And again, this is me driving. You know, I use the outlines to be able to just set my path and go. But now with that field done, that's my long grain rice field of 146 acres. Then I move on to my olives, which is for 92 acres, doing all the same. My grapes for 84 acres. Then cotton for 237 acres. Corn, 308.25 acres. Oats for 147.3 acres. Parsnips, 53 acres. Carrots, 32.75 acres. Red beet, 67.75 acres. Green beans, 54.5 acres. Okay, so this here starts my 4th day of plowing these fields, and I'm getting further along into the interior where the fields are getting much, much larger. And so I decided I needed to buy a second tractor and start getting some of those helping hands to give me a little bit of help on getting these fields done. So I go with the John Deere 8RT series because I'm a major fan of John Deere tractors. I love John Deere tractors. And I outfit it with all the implements I need for precision farming because I plan on using the precision farming with this fields or with this game. And again, I go with the same Lizard SM82. SM82 plow. Although this time I paint it to match the John Deere tractor. Give it the distinct John Deere yellow wheels. And with that, I set this loose on the fields. Now, I've already plowed under the tracks and combined the fields. And then I'm going to let the helper come along and plow the field for uniformity. Not every plow or not every strip of land is going to be in the same direction. Sometimes, because the AI will come along and it'll stop, lift, move on, drop. It drives me nuts. But you know, at this point, after 4 days of plowing, you know, it's time I just move on. So I've got both of the plows going. I've got the Fendt going. I've got the John Deere going. And with that, I finish off the largest field, which is 480.5 acres. Then I move on to the potatoes for 128 acres. And then I have to stop and actually fuel up one of my tractors that's in, I have to fuel up the Fendt in the middle of working. So I decide to buy myself the 2020 Ford F350 with the transfer tank on the back. And I wish this truck setup here had a mobile repair station with it so that I could both refuel and repair tractors all at once. But, you know, I haven't been able to actually find that, you know, whether it's online searching or certainly within the game. The game itself doesn't have anything, but even going outside the game, you know, I haven't been able to find a service truck that can both refuel and repair at the same time. It'd be nice if somebody could figure that one out for me. But anyway, got this truck, put the front winch on it, painted it yellow because I love a nice, pretty yellow truck, nice canary yellow truck. This one here is a little bit more safety yellow, but it's better than that washed out pale yellow. Anyway, so I got myself the truck. Now I'm going to go and refuel it, or actually just fill it up with fuel in general. So I come over here to where I've set up one of my small little stations, and I'm going to fill up the gas tank, put some diesel in it. Then after I get the diesel, I have to go pick up the toolbox, the portable toolbox. And so because there's no place to put this, there's no empty cabinets, no strap down area, no nothing, I just pick up the toolbox and I'm actually going to set it up on top of the truck and just hope that I can drive slow enough or whatever to doesn't fall off. So I'll reach down, pick that up, back up a little bit, get it up high enough, and I'm going to set it up here on top. There you go, and then just drop it. And then, like I say, I'm going to drive slow enough that hopefully it does not fall off. I might have to change this setup, you know, maybe go to the Mercedes truck and get a trailer and then just strap the toolbox down in the back of the Mercedes truck. I don't know. Anyway, I did what I did on it. So now I'm driving out to the Fendt. It's out here in the middle of this field where it is working. It is out of gas and it needs repair. There it is, up there in the distance. Still just, I could be doing 70 miles an hour right now if I wanted to, but the truck, the toolbox would just fly off if I was doing that. So anyway, get up here, go slow, take it easy. And amazingly enough, the toolbox did not fall off once. So I was able to go slow enough, I was able to take it easy enough to where the toolbox stayed up there on top the entire time, which was nice. Alright, so now I'm going to refuel first, which goes quick. I mean, it's nice being able to refuel from there and just zoop, it's all done. Now I'm going to get out of the truck and I'm going to go around and I'm going to get the toolbox down off the top of the truck, and I will get the tractor repaired so it can keep going. Come around here. Wouldn't it be nice if some of these tools actually work too, like hoses and, you know, start up the pump generator or pump engine? Yeah, it would be nice if you could get a nice detailed truck like that. Anyway, so I'll drop that down, and then I can be able to repair. Be nice if I could also get some paint triggers too, so that I can be able to repair the paint without having to take this back to the car lot to do it. Alright, I'm going to put this back up here on top. Drop that down. And move it over here because it didn't look like it was going to... There we go. That looks a little better. Okay, so now I'm going to go back inside the truck, and I'm just going to move this off to the side of the field because I got a feeling that I'm going to have to refuel that John Deere here pretty soon too. And because I'm working around this area here, I'm just going to leave this out. So yeah, I'm just going to move this over here to the side. And with that, I've now finished the canola field for 277.25 acres. Move on to the barley for 237.25 acres. Move on to wheat for 341.75 acres. Finish out the sunflowers for 196.25 acre. And then the sugar beet for 99.25 acres. And with that, I have a grand total of 3,680 acres of field that I am going to use and plant. So yeah, this is going to be a huge farm. It's going to have huge acreage. I plan on using the biggest implements I can get my hands on. I might even have to do a little bit of cheating to do a little bit of unrealistics just to be able to get through this. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to go with unrealistic or if I'm going to stick to realistic and drive myself absolutely insane with really small loads on these huge fields. But anyways, so that is my first video. Thank you for following along. Thank you for putting up with my terrible, terrible voiceovers. I know my voiceovers suck, but hopefully they'll get a little bit better here in the future. I'll figure this voiceover thing out as I'm going along. Please follow along. This is a brand new channel. This is a brand new thing for me. So hit that subscribe. It'd be nice if you hit the like too. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. And have a good day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.